877-777-NEWS.
Welcome to World News. Tonight from St. Paul, Minnesota. And in the headlines, almost 2 million evacuees from Hurricane Gustav are anxious to go home. Officials say not yet. Some evacuees say they won't leave next time. In session, the Republicans finally take to the convention floor. Many questions still being asked about John McCain's vice presidential pick. He's back. Despite leaving Washington in disgrace, Tom DeLay is back to party hardy with Republican fat cats. And Brian Ross is on the money trail. And Prairie Home, a companion guide to this unique part of America. Garrison Keillor navigates.
From ABC News, this is World News with Charles Gibson. Reporting tonight from St. Paul.
Good evening. So now it is the Republicans' turn. We have come to the Republican convention, and we'll get to the political news in a moment. But we start with the aftermath of Hurricane Gustav, not with the physical damage caused by the storm, but with the psychological damage. Nearly 2 million people followed the orders to evacuate. Now, with the storm past and damage less than feared, they want to go home, and they can't. ABC's Barbara Pinto is in Bossier City, Louisiana tonight. Barbara, good evening.
Good evening, Charlie. These buses are on standby to take displaced residents back to the Gulf Coast, but no one is going anywhere tonight. And for the 13,000 evacuees still in shelters in the Shreveport area, things are getting desperate.
Outside Shreveport's largest state-run shelters.
It's not good in there at all. It's filthy in there. It's filthy.
Frustration has reached a boiling point.
We don't have showers.
2,800 people bussed here to safety are now trapped at this former Sam's Club. The buses that dropped them here are gone. The bathroom is in the parking lot.
We have to bring our children outside to the bathrooms in the rain. It's nasty. I will go stay late in that middle of the street, give me a blanket and a pillow before I go back in there.
Hungry evacuees swarmed to volunteer, donating food.
That's the last one. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Today, for the first time since they got here 4 days ago, residents were driven to a nearby school to bathe. Our camera was not welcome.
Sorry. The bottom line is these people were not ready for us. They've had 3 years to get ready for us. To me, it was a total lack of planning.
Local officials say they're now footing the bill to truck in portable showers and more food to shelters that are the responsibility of the state. The mayor is angry.
The state is running facilities that just simply are not adequate.
That makes Leslie Knighton think twice about what he and his family will do next time.
But if I had known it would be like this up here, I would have took my chances out at home.
He and thousands of others could be here for days while New Orleans works to restore power and water, as Mayor Nagin told Charlie Gibson last night.
Sometime Thursday or Friday, it's my hope that if things continue to go well, that our citizens will come back.
Each parish has its own rules for return. Essential workers came back to St. Bernard and Jefferson today. Residents won't be allowed in until tomorrow. Outside I-10 in Baton Rouge, a line of cars points toward New Orleans. Residents trying to get home any way they can. Back at the shelter in Shreveport, Reverend Rudolph Boyd has a message for the governor.
Right now, Bobby Gunther, I need to get home right now.
Now, state officials have yet to respond, but the sentiment we heard from so many still in the shelters is that they would be reluctant to evacuate this way again. Charlie?
Barbara Pinto reporting tonight from Bossier City in Louisiana. Well, government officials throughout the Gulf region say they need more time to assess the damage and make repairs before it's safe for those people who left to come back home. By one estimate, more than 1 million people just in Louisiana have been left without power, and 25,000 roofs were damaged. ABC's Dan Harris is in tonight, Houma, Louisiana. Dan?
Charlie, good evening. Here's another big number to wrap your head around. FEMA is now estimating that 10 million cubic yards of debris will have to be removed in the wake of this storm. This is where the Eye of Gustav came ashore, deep in the Louisiana bayou in the tiny fishing village of Cocodrie. On a visit today, we found roofs peeled off, power lines down helter-skelter, and foundations marinating in floodwater. The Coyne family was emptying their home of nearly all their possessions today, while an alligator lurked not very far away. The governor of Louisiana, Bobby Jindal, and the Homeland Security Chief, Michael Chertoff, toured the hurricane zone today in the air and on the ground.
We're going to have to spend a lot of effort, time, money rebuilding it.
While this cleanup may well be costly and also difficult, with officials today struggling to clear trees out of roads and the power company scrambling to get electricity back up, the damage discovered in the aftermath of Gustav is not devastating, and it's made some of those who refuse to leave feel vindicated.
The specific area where we live is fine. Nothing more than a few shingles maybe and some vinyl.
ABC's Bill Weir asked Secretary Chertoff about this today.
The tendency to kind of grade each hurricane as if this one's, not really a serious one because we didn't have a lot of loss of life. I think that's a very dangerous metric to use in emergency management. The fact is this was a powerful hurricane.
And there's another aspect of Gustav's impact that is of lasting concern: the damage to the wetlands along the Louisiana coastline. These marshes slowed down the storm surge when hurricanes hit, protecting population centers. But Gustav may well have done irreparable harm to wetlands, ensuring that the next storms will potentially be much more destructive. But right now, people who live in places like this, Houma, Louisiana, are mostly worried about getting back home and cleaning up after this storm. Charlie?
Dan Harris in Houma tonight, thanks to you. And more storms are churning right on the heels of Gustav. Hannah, downgraded to a tropical storm, has left at least 10 dead in Haiti from severe floods and mudslides. Hannah could become a hurricane again and take aim at the southeast United States by Friday. And then Tropical Storm Ike could hit the Bahamas by Sunday. Well, now that Gustav has moved on, the Republicans have decided to move on with their convention. Tonight, the speakers will be led by President Bush, who will speak via satellite from the White House to be introduced by the First Lady, who is here. The other primetime speakers will be former Senator Fred Thompson and Senator Joe Lieberman, who was, of course, the Democratic vice presidential nominee 8 years ago. And our chief Washington correspondent, George Stephanopoulos, is with me here in St. Paul. So, George, now they get on with it.
Back to business. The themes of the convention tonight: country first, service before self. All of those speakers tonight, Charlie, will be speaking to the personal character, courage, integrity of John McCain.
They want to define John McCain as the Democrats wanted to define Barack Obama.
First night, that's what first nights are about.
Well, I'm very curious about one thing, though. Barack Obama and John McCain couldn't be more different in their political ideologies, but when you look at the ads that they're putting out these days, it sounds very similar what they're saying.
It is amazing. Brand new ads put out today, and if you look at it, it looks as if each campaign is reading exactly the same research, trying to reach out to voters fed up with Washington.
They share the same out-of-touch attitude, the same failure to understand the economy, the same tax cuts for huge corporations and the wealthiest 1%.
Take away the crowds, the chants. All that's left are costly words. Barack Obama and out-of-touch congressional leaders have expensive plans.
The president and Congress, both very unpopular. Phrase of the day, maybe the rest of the campaign, out of touch.
One thing I want to ask you about, which is the vice presidential choice. Do the Republicans have a sense that the questions about Sarah Palin are preoccupying the country, or are they just preoccupying reporters?
They want to shine a light on what they think is media overkill. They think Governor Palin will be popular, and they're going to start to do that now. They also want to put to rest questions about the process. The campaign made A.B. Culverhouse, the lawyer who did the background check, available to me today. He answered all of our questions. He's got a reputation for probity and integrity. His bottom line is, and he's done this for a long time, this was a full and complete vet, and that Senator McCain would have postponed the announcement if Mr. Culverhouse wasn't satisfied. That's what they're saying today.
And it puts a lot on her speech tomorrow night.
It certainly does. And they know a lot of people are going to be watching.
Indeed, I suspect they will. All right, George Stephanopoulos here in St. Paul with us. John McCain is slowly making his way here to St. Paul. At every stop along the way he makes now, reporters keep shouting questions about how well he looked into the background of his running mate, Governor Sarah Palin of Alaska. Here's Kate Snow.
Stopping by a firehouse on his way to the convention, John McCain said he'd done a solid job checking the background of his running mate.
My vetting process was completely thorough, and I'm grateful for the results.
Americans awoke to new images of Governor Palin's pregnant daughter and her boyfriend, the star hockey player. and a report that the governor touted as a maverick.
My agenda was to stop wasteful spending.
And running with a famous opponent of wasteful spending, had hired a lobbyist to win the small city of Wasilla almost $27 million in federal projects when she was mayor. The McCain campaign has rushed a team to Alaska to help the boyfriend and the Palin family cope with the media, to, in the words of one aide, make them more comfortable and head off negative stories. They insist there have been no surprises, that Governor Palin completed a questionnaire with more than 70 questions and was interviewed for hours by McCain lawyers last month.
If she was fully vetted and they're having to deal with all this stuff at this convention, then somebody, I think, could be accused of making a strategic error in that and allowing that to all happen and come out when at time he need to own the communication. And if she wasn't vetted, then there's a bigger problem.
Friends, I've spent the last few months looking for a running mate who can best help me shake up Washington.
Some of the revelations since Friday's announcement are news only in the lower 48. Alaskans were well aware of an ongoing inquiry into whether Palin pressured a state official to fire a state trooper after a messy divorce from her sister. A report is due out in October, right before the election.
Senator McCain said today he's very proud of the impression Governor Palin has made, and he's excited about her speech tomorrow night. Privately, McCain officials are keenly aware of how much is riding on that speech. And Charlie, as George said, they see it as a real opportunity for Governor Palin to define herself for the American voters instead of having the media define her.
Kate Snow reporting tonight. Thanks. Well, still ahead on World News from St. Paul, oil prices plunge. What happened to all those dire predictions? $100 a barrel now seems cheap. A Republican congressman headbutts our camera as Brian Ross follows convention power brokers on the money trail. And what's so special about St. Paul? Just ask Garrison Keillor, who's proud to call this area home.
This is World News with Charles Gibson, brought to you by Walgreens.
Introducing generic prescriptions for less than $1 a week at Walgreens. For less than $1 a week on more than 400 generics. Get big savings on over 5,000 other generic and name brand prescriptions.
We joined and saved on John's prescription. It wasn't covered by our insurance plan.
Plus, we earn a 10% reward when we buy Walgreens brand products.
Stop by today to see how much you'll save and get $50 in free coupons. The Prescription Savings Club, only at Walgreens.
When it comes to cereal, it's not just the front of the box that counts, it's the side. Think Kashi Go Lean has 100% daily value of calcium? How about iron? Think again. It doesn't have 100% of any vitamins and minerals you need. Because if it did, well, then it'd be Total. Deliciously crunchy cinnamon squares and 100% daily value of 11 vitamins and minerals. Total. Are you getting 100%?
It was that day at the airport. Carl had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Grandma, Grandpa!
But I waited to see how he did.
Julie? I'm Amy, Grandpa.
That day I knew. I couldn't wait. Our doctor told us prescription Aricept is the only treatment proven effective for all stages of Alzheimer's. Studies showed Aricept slows the progression of Alzheimer's symptoms. It improves cognition and slows the decline of overall function. We started Carl on it right away.
Aricept is well tolerated, but not for everyone. People at risk for stomach ulcers or who take certain other medicines should tell their doctors because serious stomach problems such as bleeding may get worse. Some people may experience fainting. Some people may have nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, bruising, or not sleep well. Some people may have muscle cramps or loss of appetite or may feel tired. In studies, these were usually mild and temporary. Oh, that's a nice one.
Talk to your doctor about Alzheimer's treatments, including Aricept. Don't wait. Alzheimer's isn't waiting.
Numbers out today show gas prices lower for the 7th week in a row, down another penny a gallon. But the really dramatic drop is in the price of oil, which plunged almost $6 a barrel today. Oil is now at a 5-month low, down 25% from its all-time high in July. Why is it dropping so fast? Here's David Muir.
It was just last May a Goldman Sachs economist made a bold prediction. Oil would reach $200 a barrel, a super spike. Morgan Stanley followed suit, forecasting at least $150 a barrel.
I can't actually think of anybody
that didn't get on that bandwagon.
So what explains the price today? It's not just that Gustav did less damage in the Gulf than feared. It's that demand in the U.S. is down dramatically. Drivers, it seems, finally reached their limit.
The question became, what price do you have to actually get someone in the U.S. to drive less? $3.50 to $4 began to make a big difference.
Americans drove 53.2 billion miles less than they did over the same period last year. And overseas, demand is down too, even in rapidly growing India and China, where their economies are feeling the effect of the slowdown worldwide. There's also the stronger dollar. Fewer investors are buying oil against it. So with the average price of a gallon of gas now at $3.68 after topping $4 earlier this summer, some economists expect it will soften even more. Will Americans who change their habits now change back?
I have to tighten up, and until it comes down a little more, I'm happy to see the prices go down, as anyone would be, but I'm not going to get too happy too soon.
Which might be a wise choice, because the same economists who once predicted $150, $200 a barrel say the price of oil could easily go up again if the oil-producing countries decide to put out less. After all, they're the ones who don't want to see it back down to $100 a barrel. David Muir, ABC News, New York.
The New England Journal of Medicine today published an editorial calling into question one of the best-selling cholesterol drugs. It points to research showing Vytorin and Zetia, one of the medications in Vytorin, could be linked to an increased cancer risk. The journal says physicians and patients are left for now with uncertainty about the efficacy and safety of the drug. One widely used vaccine is proving to be very effective. Researchers today said childhood cases of chickenpox plunged 90% in 10 years after the vaccine was introduced. And government health officials said 2 doses are proving to work better than just 1. We have a death to report tonight. There are voices, and then there was Don LaFontaine. Even if his face wasn't familiar, chances are you've heard him thousands of times.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Ultimate story of family.
From the creative mind of Bill Cosby comes Fat Albert.
Don LaFontaine, the voice of more than 5,000 movie trailers, enjoyed a long career built on the deep, distinctive voice. He said his trademark trailer opening, that phrase, "in a world where," was an easy way to set a scene and transport movie viewers. Don LaFontaine was 68. And coming up, a GOP congressman goes after our camera as Brian Ross stays on the convention money trail.
My baby left for college, and I got a pain reliever for my back. Took classes, too. Got something for arthritis pain. Different pains, different pain relievers. But now Advil is my every pain reliever. Works wherever I hurt. I'm all Advil.
Mom knew I needed calcium from day one. Today, 80% of us don't get enough from food. Our bodies can steal it from our bones. Replenish your body daily with TLC, Tender Loving Caltrate, and give TLC to somebody you love.
Get this one. Iran is changing its cars to run on natural gas, and we're not doing a thing here. They're doing this to use less oil and sell it for $120 a barrel. We can switch our cars to natural gas and stop sending our dollars to foreign countries.
Hey, you should look at this.
What?
Your PAD isn't just poor circulation in your legs causing you pain.
It isn't.
Mom, it more than doubles your risk of heart attack or stroke.
I didn't want to worry you.
You need to read about Plavix. If you have PAD, Plavix can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke. Plavix helps keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, the cause of most heart attacks and strokes. Promise you'll talk to your doctor about Plavix?
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you should not use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase, so tell your doctor before planning surgery. And always talk to your doctor before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix, especially if you've had a stroke. If you develop fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion, tell your doctor promptly, as these may be signs of a rare but potentially life-threatening condition called TTP, which has been reported rarely, sometimes in less than 2 weeks after starting therapy. Other rare but serious side effects may occur. Attention Plavix users with poor leg circulation, known as PAD. Your condition may put you at 2 times the risk of a heart attack or stroke. Plavix helps you stay protected. Whether you're feeling leg pain or not, your risk never goes away. Help stay protected. Stay with Plavix.
What does John McCain have to say about the issues you care about most, the convention, and all the questions about his running mate? Find out tomorrow. Charlie Gibson One-on-One with John McCain. The exclusive interview, only on ABC's World News with Charles Gibson.
As we noted earlier, the Republican convention gets into full swing here tonight after yesterday's opening that was subdued by Hurricane Gustav. But there's been nothing subdued about the party scene in St. Paul, where lobbyists and influential GOP leaders are living it up. Last week, Brian Ross tracked the Democrats in Denver. Tonight, he's on the money trail in Minnesota, where a former Republican heavy hitter has come to town.
This week in Minneapolis is meant to put a spotlight on the Republican Party's best side. But one of last night's VIPs was a man who has brought mostly scandal and disgrace to the GOP. Former House Majority Leader Tom DeLay caught sneaking in the back door of a huge fundraising party he sponsored for lobbyists and top Republicans.
Tom DeLay is sort of the poster child for the era of the most recent era of Republican scandal.
But DeLay's party was the most sought-after ticket in town, featuring music by a group called Smash Mouth, signed to raise money for DeLay's newly formed Coalition for a Conservative Majority. DeLay, seen posing for pictures and smoking a big cigar, is awaiting trial on money laundering charges in Texas. But last night he was greeted like a returning hero after 2 years away from the center of power.
He's the man.
I'm reporting with Tom.
He is the man.
I've always liked him. He's a good, solid conservative.
Was it good to see Tom DeLay back?
Not everyone wanted to talk about DeLay. Florida Congressman John Mica answered our questions with a headbutt to the camera.
What do you want? I'm just curious with a couple questions.
It was DeLay's close relationship with now convicted lobbyist Jack Abramoff, seen here in 1998 hugging DeLay, that put congressional Republicans in such disrepute. Abramoff has admitted spending millions of dollars on free golf trips and lavish meals for members of Congress in exchange for their influence and votes. And it was Senator John McCain who helped lead the Abramoff investigation. Yet despite new ethics laws, lobbyists continue to spend millions entertaining lawmakers, as we saw here and in Denver. There are still free rounds of golf for them, as there were today outside Minneapolis, but they have to be organized as charity events or fundraisers. Sit-down meals, forks or knives are banned under the new ethics law.
Stir that up.
So chefs in St. Paul have designed gourmet party food to be served in giant shot glasses, meeting the requirement of finger food.
You're going to be using the crab claw to be getting out the slaw.
The fact is, what Tom DeLay found upon his return to the GOP limelight here last night would not seem all that much different than it was before he was forced from power because of his connections to lobbyists, Charlie.
All right, Brian Ross again on the money trail here in St. Paul. And up next, from Frogtown to Crocus Hill, Garrison Keillor gives us the insider's tour of St. Paul.
Talk about a wake-up call. I had a heart attack at 57. My doctor told me I should have been doing more for my high cholesterol. What was I thinking? But now, I trust my heart to Lipitor.
When diet and exercise are not enough, adding Lipitor may help. Unlike some other cholesterol-lowering medications, Lipitor is FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, and certain kinds of heart surgeries if you have several common risk factors or heart disease. Lipitor has been extensively studied with over 16 years of research. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. This may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
I learned the hard way, but you may be able to do something.
Have a heart-to-heart with your doctor about your risk and about Lipitor.
All around the world, men with erectile dysfunction have taken 36-hour Cialis. Today, men can also be ready with another dosing option, Cialis for daily use, a clinically proven low-dose tablet you take every day, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right.
Tell your doctor about your medical condition and all medications and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
36-hour Cialis or Cialis for daily use. Ask your doctor if a Cialis option is right for you. So when the moment is right, you can be ready.
3 weeks from tonight, ABC brings the game show to your home. The only thing you need to know is everything about your family.
The game is on!
ABC's Opportunity Knocks premieres 3 weeks from tonight at 8/7 Central on ABC.
Tomorrow, on the morning of the biggest speech of her life, Sarah Palin faces more questions as new details surface. How will they really handle it all? Tomorrow, get answers on GMA, because if it's positively politics, it's positively Good Morning America, live at the convention.
In both convention cities this year, we wanted to give you a sense of what makes the host city special. So who better to speak of St. Paul, Minnesota than Garrison Keillor, who comes here often from Lake Wobegon. St. Paul's website proclaims this is the most livable city in America. Keillor, the host of radio's A Prairie Home Companion, offered to tell us why.
St. Paul is a city of about 250,000, which is just the right size for a city. Just a little river town here. Used to be a railroad town. This is really the distinguishing feature, the Mississippi, this big bend of the river and the limestone bluffs, the valley that we sit in. It dominates the geography of the city, so that the grid system did not really work out well here. The streets are kind of a jumble of names of flowers and women. The neighborhoods sit like small towns next to each other, Swede Hollow and Frogtown and Crocus Hill. There's nothing really extraordinary about St. Paul, though as you walk around it, you'll see that it's a very well-loved city, from old buildings that are beautifully preserved, and this downtown, which refuses to die, though it almost has a few times. It's a college town, so we will get this flood of new blood and ambition and goofiness that keeps the town interesting, as well as these immigrant groups, the Hmong and the Somali and Ethiopian people who have settled here. The thing that keeps St. Paul, I think, is winter, which is not that cold here. But we have a reputation for cold, which keeps away slackers and Texans and people who are looking for lifestyle, which we don't really have here. We have school and work and kids and family and church and so forth, but not a lifestyle for dreamers. This is a culture of do-gooders, of people who are interested in the common good and taking care of each other. So it's a good place for a political convention. There's plenty of reason to be cynical about politics, especially national politics these days. But not much has been accomplished by cynical people. This city was built by far-sighted people, Archbishop Ireland and James J. Hill, who welcomed outsiders. So we welcome visitors, Hmong or Somali or Republicans. And it's good to see you.
The wonderful perspective of Garrison Keillor. I'm Charlie Gibson in St. Paul. We hope you'll stay tuned for our coverage of the Republican convention, including President Bush's address to the delegates. That is coming up next.
Hurricane Gustav may have delayed things for the Republicans, but tonight it's their turn, and finally they get it started. And millions of Americans again turn to Charlie Gibson, Diane Sawyer, and George Stephanopoulos. The Republican convention tonight on 8.
See it, shoot it, send it. When you capture breaking news on your camera or cell phone, email it to Eyewitness News and video at myabc7.com.
There's never been a better time to do something completely sensible with your money. Now until September 2nd, get up to $2,000 cash back on Hyundai's fuel-efficient sedans with up to 33 miles per gallon at Hyundai's Dollars and Cents sales event. Hyundai's Dollars and Cents sales event. So many ways to save some money on a new car. So little time to save. Right now, get a 2009 Sonata with 32 miles per gallon and $2,000 cash back. See your Southern California Hyundai dealer now.
Proposition 7 is supposed to be about renewable energy, but it is so flawed it hurts the cause. It shuts out small producers of solar and wind energy because it forces utilities to buy from the big power providers. That's why most renewable producers and environmental groups oppose Prop 7.
And Proposition 7 permanently allows prices to be charged at 10% above market rate, which